Most people only visit Flores for Tikal, but in this video, I'm going to show you all of the best things that Flores has to offer. Let's jump right into it. Good morning. It is 6 a.m. and I'm heading into Tikal National Park. We're going to stay extra quiet in hopes that we can see some wildlife. So this road that I'm walking on here, it's not like a new road that was recently put in. This is one of the ancient Mayan roads that they would used to use to transport between Mayan cities and civilizations. And it's so cool because they use limestone, because then they could travel at night. The moonlight would like illuminate the pathway for them. Can't remember what they're called, but I do kind of talk way more in detail about it in my Chichen Itza video. It's a video from 2 years ago, so quality isn't the best, but you can go check it out right here. I have my first viewpoint of it, of the Temple of Jaguars. It's like the most famous temple here at Tikal. Ah! Oh my god. Let's go! Oh my god, I didn't even notice it. And I turn around and there's a massive like peak of a temple just like jutting straight up out of the jungle. So one of the coolest parts about Tikal is that you can climb a lot of the temples. And so I'm standing on top of now Temple 2, also known as Temple of the Masks, because it has the best lookout and view of Temple 1, also known as Temple of the Great Jaguar. It was dedicated to one of the kings. Not gonna even try and pronounce it because they found his remains in the bottom of like that temple. It was like his tomb. I think even if you're not a history person, like this would be magical, especially here this early. There's nobody else here. The jungle is coming alive. This is really, really cool. What's really interesting here at the Malur Palace is that it's named after the Austrian explorer that was doing his research here because he camped out here. Could you imagine? How cool to just be like camping out here and be one of the only peoples here and like excavating things and finding new stuff. It's just amazing. And like right here behind me, like it just looks like a hill, and all throughout Tikal you're gonna find just like things that just look like hills. Know that that's just a ruin that hasn't been excavated yet. They do say that only about 10% of Tikal that's like been discovered. Mind blowing. Used to be a civilization of up to 100,000 people, and they believe that there's 3,000 buildings. It's crazy to think that people have like this mindset that like ancient civilizations weren't advanced. Like bro, they were so much more advanced than what we are. But how are they able to do this? And don't even get me started on Machu Picchu. If you haven't seen my Machu Picchu yet, make sure you go check it out right here. A really cool aspect about coming so early, you see the wildlife. I think they're called katies. I have no idea if they're aggressive or not, but like just something to always be aware of. Just like give wildlife its space. Don't go up to them. Don't try and pet them. Also, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. There's wildlife, they could attack. I highly recommend you come to Guatemala. Come check out Tikal before it gets like over touristy. And then there are a ton of rules and regulations. So even though Tikal doesn't receive that many visitors, it still does get about like 1 million visitors every year. What blows my mind is that just 100 years ago, all of this was still covered in moss and grass and trees and like just the jungle. The jungle had engulfed it. And now every year there's 1 million people that walk through here. So if you come here without a tour guide, don't rush through it. Kind of just wander and get lost. Don't fully get lost, but like then you find some really interesting, unique things. Like there's this shrine that's like tucked back into the ruins. All right, so it is about 9 a.m. now. Been here since 6 a.m. And let me tell you, it is hot now, especially when you're climbing up these temples. So now I'm climbing up to the Lost World Pyramid. So this pyramid was built before any of the other pyramids here at Tikal were built. So I think it's called the Lost Pyramid because they think it's like part of a lost civilization that used to be here. I'm not totally positive on that. I highly recommend you come and climb all of these stairs because it puts you at the same level as the treetops, which puts you at the same level as the monkeys. And oh my god, they're so cute when they're swinging and playing and hanging out. Monkeys aside, it's so worth it to climb all the way up here because you just get this awesome vista viewpoint of all of the other temples, and then just you can see for so far out all across the jungle. Another great viewpoint this high up is going to be at Temple 4. That's the one right back behind me here. But I'm saving that because I'm going to go on a sunset tour. And you climb to the top of that one, watch the sunset. It's going to be so cool. So if you're going to be doing the sunset, sunrise, or early morning tours or coming through Tikal, like I would highly recommend some bug spray. And then also recommend sunscreen for during the day. Temple 5 you're not able to climb, but it's quite impressive. So I still recommend coming over, checking it out. And it's one of the impressive temples that sits high above the jungle, and you can see it when you're over in the Grand Plaza and then when you're over at Temple 4. All right, so far I have seen some coatis, I've seen one of these other rodent animals, I've seen howler monkeys, I've seen spider monkeys, I saw some toucans, I saw some vultures, and I saw some turkeys. The number one thing though I want to see is a jaguar, which there have been sightings here. Okay, some important things to know. It is hot here and you're in the jungle, so I recommend getting here as early as you can. Personally, what I did was I was here at 6 a.m., got to go around, explore, see a bunch of things. It's now like 10:30 and I'm melting. You can just do day trips from Flores, but what I would recommend you do is come stay the night here at Jungle Lodge. It's the closest hotel to the entrance. There are some other ones nearby. What to wear? Definitely wear some tennis shoes because it's a lot of walking. You're not going to want to be in sandals or especially flip-flops. Breathable clothing. Pack a raincoat if you're going to be here during the rainy season. Bring a hat in case you are out in the sun quite a bit because the sun is very powerful here. Definitely bug spray and sunscreen. There are a couple places in the park and at the very entrance where you can buy some water and snacks and other souvenirs. I recommend bringing your own because it does get pretty pricey. Another thing to know is you have to bring your passport or an identification card to be able to enter into the park. And also, it is cash only. There's no ATM here, no cards are accepted, so bring some cash with you. Entrance for the day pass is 150 quetzales. Drinks are anywhere from like 10 to 20. Snacks are kind of around the same price range. If you want to do the sunrise or sunset tour, you have to buy a separate entrance ticket, and then also on top of that, you have to pay for a guide. Just know if you're doing the sunrise or sunset, there are a lot of extra payments that you're going to be paying for. And lastly, drones are completely forbidden, which makes me so sad because like when I was on top of some of those pyramids, like those aerial shots, even there, I was like, oh, I couldn't even imagine if I had a drone. But no, drones are not allowed. So I did purchase a map. They sell them for $4 US or 20 quetzales. You could definitely get by without it. There are signs everywhere, every temple, like giving you a little bit of history about each place and like significance, and like the trails are all very well clearly marked. Tikal was once one of the most important cities in the ancient Mayan civilization. So the first civilization here was 700 BC, but it didn't become like the regional center for religion, trade, etc. until 250 AD. And then 100 years later, at 350 AD, is when it started dominating the Petén region here in Guatemala, which is like the northern region. And then mysteriously, it was abandoned in 900 AD, just like a lot of other Mayan civilizations. No one knows for sure why, but people do speculate that it was due because of the drought, which was caused from all the deforestation that the Mayans had done. So they basically caused their own demise by deforestating and trying to overfarm and trying to build too much. Makes me wonder, are we doing the same thing to our world right now? All right, so remember how a little bit ago I said we were gonna be doing the sunset tour? Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be happening. We're standing here, we're waiting, we're hoping, fingers crossed, but things are not looking too promising. All right, so the rain definitely did let up quite a bit. We are out now walking around. Fingers crossed that the clouds will clear though, and that fully stops raining so that we get an unreal sunset view. Honestly though, even if a sunset view doesn't happen, it's actually really cool being here because all the animals are like coming back out, and our guide Nixon is so knowledgeable, and it's actually really enjoyable having a guide. Like, I'm glad I wandered around on my own, but I would definitely recommend getting a guide because they just know so much information and stuff that you would never even be able to research or like learn about online. So I can't remember what I said earlier in the video, but in my head, I thought that we watched sunset from Temple 4. We do not. We actually watched sunset from the Lost Pyramid, which is where I was at earlier, which is where I was saying that the view was absolutely incredible from there. The guide though, he's so sweet, he's taking the other two people over to there, and I'm trekking it now over to Temple 4, because you have to climb the tallest pyramid here at Tikal. You just have to. All right, first opinion, I'm not even allowing myself to look out there yet. You're probably looking out over at the viewpoint before I even am right now. All right, here we go. Oh man, oh my God. Holy shit. If you weren't convinced that you needed to come to Tikal, dude, you just have to. Like, what? Wow. Wow. Just wow. So while we didn't get an unreal sunset, we did get some colors in the sky. It was so magical, and going with a guide was super knowledgeable, and like I learned so many things not even really sharing on here, but just like fun facts for like me to know about, and it made walking through Tikal so much more interesting and just special knowing some of the different history aspects. So even if you're not gonna have a sunset, I think it's so worth it. Just like all the animals that were flying around, all the animals were coming back out after the rainstorm, and it's just really peaceful. So I am so thankful I got the early morning and then I got the late evening. And tomorrow we've got some crazy adventures going on, so let's get right into it. So today we are exploring the ancient Maya civilization of Yaxha. But first, we're taking a boat across the lake to go check out an island called Totoponesh, and it is still inhabited by a small community of Mayas. So this probably has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever done, and I do a lot of stupid shit. Where are you putting it? Oh, me.
The Spider Woman.
I don't enjoy this situation at all. Can I get it off of my chest at least? No? Okay.
It's a plastic tarantula.
It's plastic, yep.
Yes, yes.
So this is fun. Can we be done now? Oh, I thought it was going down my shirt. Okay, that was fun. Never doing that again. Tarantula in the woods. I thought that after Mirador, I would never climb any more temples. And here I am climbing more temples. Seems to be a thing here in Guatemala. I highly recommend that you go to as many different set of ruins as possible because they're all so different, but then again, at the same time, they're all the same. So it's really cool to see how the different civilizations were connected, but then how they were also different depending on the time period that they were created. An absolute must when you're in Flores is coming to the Blue Crater. This place is 100% a hidden gem. Locals know about it. I am here on a Saturday, and so it's pretty busy. Thankfully though, there are 2 different little blue craters or areas you can swim in. The first one where the boats drop you off at, that's where most people are hanging out. I kind of walked through a path and found this other like crater lagoon all to myself. I've been swimming here for about the last half an hour. The water is crystal clear. You can open your eyes in the water. There's a bunch of fish, there's some turtles, and there's a ton of birds. Spoke with the guide. He said that there are no crocodiles this time of year, like later after towards the end of the rainy season, like August, October-ish. Then there's crocodiles, so I don't know where they're at right now if they're not here. There are multiple tour agencies in Flores that you can book a day trip with. I am going with local. They're also the same ones that I did the Mirador trek with, and I absolutely love working with them because once again, they're going with local tour providers. My tour guide, he is from a small little town right outside of this blue crater here. He knows so much information about the lands, the wildlife, and kind of just the culture in the Petén area in Guatemala. I am here on a Saturday, and so there's quite a bit of locals, but I haven't seen any other tourists. It really is a total hidden gem up here. And it is so gorgeous, so worth it. There's really no information online, so like I didn't bring my tripod, didn't bring my drone, didn't bring so many things, and I'm kicking myself now because I'm like, this is one of the coolest places in Flores. Oh, the water is so beautiful. It's really cool once you're here because there's a bunch of trails like everywhere leading through the jungle, and you can kind of go try and find your own little secluded space. So unfortunately, my only day that I had available was on a Saturday to come here, but if you came here on a weekday, there would be hardly any people because it's mostly locals here on a Saturday, and it's a holiday weekend, so it's pretty busy. The main Crater Azul is packed with people, which does kind of take away from it a little bit, but it is really cool to see all the locals hanging out and enjoying Mother Nature and everything it has to offer. One thing that's really nice about coming with local travel is that everything's going to be taken care of for you. It's all organized. Best part is you get a box lunch with it, and I got a PB&J sandwich. It's been a while since I've had one of these, and I'm so excited. So the journey here is going to be about an hour and a half in a car and then about an hour on a boat ride. But it's really cool during the boat ride because you're going through these crystal clear waters and you're kind of going through different mangroves and you're seeing just some gorgeous wildlife and just gorgeous scenery. All right, I am all done with Crater Azul now. It is absolutely incredible. You have to make sure you come here when you're checking out Flores. And I really hope that this helped you plan your epic trip to Flores and that you spend a little bit more time here than just checking out Tikal because it is an incredible city and it has so much to offer. Hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you guys next week.